Why is Amazon paying me?
Emily. All right, family. Sorry for the delay. We were having some serious tech issues. I had to update software, then I had to reboot the computer because Zoom was not recognizing our sound source, even though the other software was. Anyways, glad to be here. That's why we're not having a long interlude of music because we're going to just jump in and get to the nitty gritty. I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. And let's see who is currently on right now. We got Caesar and Shalom is on and Ed is on. I see some other people on, but they have not commented yet. So please go ahead and let us know in the chat where you're coming in from. If you guys and gals have any questions, please go ahead and do that. If you haven't struck the like yet, please do that and share this on. It does help us to keep doing what we're doing. We really appreciate you. I'm your host, CJ Jamie. This is Sifufu. If he looks a little disheveled, it's because he was napping. So just, it's going to be okay. You know, that way he could show up to be his best self. You know, I don't know if you know this, but napping's actually a way to increase your life by an extra 6 years. So if you're one of those people that doesn't get a nap in on occasion, you're missing out on a longevity hack. So make sure you do that. Bonus tip of the day. All right, let's get into our Enter Shaolin Enter Tai Chi webinar where we're going to talk about Kung Fu, health, wellness, fitness, and anything else within reason. Let's see what we got going on right now. Caesar said, my family, happy to be here one more time from San Diego, California. We got Mark coming in from Portugal. Awesome. Carp Dog is coming in from, I believe, Minnesota is what he was putting in there. And we also have Mark Augusta, which is local here in South Jersey. Good to see you, brother. Hopefully we'll get to see you in some time in the near future. It's been a minute. And let's see here. Shalom says, hi guys, Sifu, could Indian grappling be a game changer in BJJ competition and in the UFC?
The answer is yes. The way we lock is different from other people the way we lock. The way we control energy is different. We don't use as much strength. We use more control. We don't need position for submission. So that's the model of BJJ. That's not our model. Our model is feel the deal to make them squeal. So we don't need to be in the right position. We need to be in the right point of control to make our locks effective. So yes, it does make a difference in how we do it. So our locks are different in how we do it. What lock we do is the same, like rear naked choke, arm bar, but how we do it, that's totally different, and the way we do it. So, and I don't want to elaborate in terms of how we do it because that's what makes our system more unique. And
go sign up to entershaolin.com.
Right.
Which I have a big announcement on that in a moment. But go ahead, Sifu, keep telling them.
So it's on the website, the things that we do that's different. The ability to channel, the ability to convert energy, the ability to seal, stuff like that. There are differences in what we do versus how Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does it. I'm not knocking down Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It is good. It's very effective in what it does. But it's like the way we do it just makes it so you have to use less strength. You don't need as much position. No, if I do like a rear naked choke, I don't need the body control to seal that. I just need the rear naked choke. The person can move all he wants. It's going to wind up taking him out in the end anyways. I don't need to keep a body wrap to stop him from escaping. I just need the proper choke and it'll be done.
Ooh, all right. So Caesar just sent us some lovely super chat love. Right before that, he told me, said shameless plug. Yeah, I am not shameful of what we do here at Inner Shaolin. As some of you guys know, if you have ever, heard our story, how we got started, I spent years trying to make this happen and move states to make it happen. Okay, so for you guys to be able to access this stuff online and be able to see it online. So I am not shameful at all. We have some of the most amazing Kung Fu that you can find online. That is no lie. Our people know. I'm not shameful at it at all. I'm not going to mince words. If you want to get good at martial arts, any type of martial arts, we're not going to tell you to throw away what you love. We're going to say, hey, let us help you make it better. And let us give you some other tools to enhance what you're already doing. So, by the way, speaking of that, my unshameful plug, rather, is we have our friend-iversary lovely sale going on. For those of you guys that know about the friend-iversary sale, today is Sifu Larry and I's friendiversary, our 16th year of being friends, and that's how Inner Shaolin came about too,
And
as
Easter.
well, and Passover for those that celebrate. And so we're having our friendiversary sale. It is good until I think the 24th. Think so. It's 3 days, and I did that intentionally for Passover and for our Savior. So it's a 3-day sale. It starts today, and you can go to innershaolin.com/best. No coupon code is needed, so it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's for our Abbott membership, the lifetime membership. So if you've been thinking about joining the Abbott membership or joining Inner Shaolin, period, and you've been like, I don't know, this is a great time to do it. You're going to save at least $2,000, which is a really great deal. You don't need a coupon. Go to innershaolin.com/best so you can get the best Kung Fu training to help you do your best in your martial arts journey. All right. Okay. Caesar has an awesome question. In Tai Chi application, hold the ball. What is an application for that? Help us out. What can we do with that?
Yeah, that's a more request. Yeah, hold the balls like this part in Tai Chi. One of the things that, like, if she's throwing a punch, this is basically hold the ball right there. That's one of the things that you do in hold the ball. That's just a basically, so hold the ball is basically a position of a vertical and horizontal hand position. So that's like this. So in punch, if she's punching, I can actually circle the hand, lock the wrist on this side, rotate the ball, and I would lock her hand there. I just let it go so it wouldn't hurt her. But that's one of the techniques in hold the ball. So that's right there. That's one of it. Hold the ball is also like going for an elbow. So she's punching. I can actually go into an elbow lock as well, and push that into that. So that's like a fundamental principle of circling the hook, raising the ball out of the hand on the other side, creating this to create a catch either on the wrist, on the elbow. I guess you could probably do it on the shoulder too. I've never done that, but I would guess that you could probably make that work as well. But a hold the ball, like I said, is a position where you can catch someone's hands and hook them along the elbow, along the wrist. So like I said, if she's punching, this is me catching the arm right here, rotating the wrist, and getting there. Or if she's grabbing my wrist, this is where you can create that type of movement into that as well, where you are circling the point in which you're either been grabbed from a punch, you hook along the elbow, and you raise them up together into a ball. That's basically what hold the ball is like.
Awesome. And real quick, let me go back over here. We also have Errol on coming from London, UK, and Melanie, who we haven't seen in a hot minute. Good to see you, sis. Is coming in from Southern Utah. Good to see you all on. Let me backtrack here real quick. We also have Jimmy on as well. He has a question. I'll get back to you. We got Adie Tolby. Nicholas coming in from Las Vegas. Adie Tolby's coming in from Chicago. We got Gregory coming in from the Mojave Desert. All right. Jimmy says, Sifu, can you point out the 3 bone points on the back of the wrist? I think he's talking about for punching. That would be my guess. For a powerful punch. Maybe.
I don't know what you mean by that in terms of for punching, but there are 3 points in the back of the hand that we use to turn. It's the same thing from the palm. There's 6 points that we can use to pivot in the hand from the back of the hand, from the thumb side, back of the hand from the center, and the back of the hand from the pinky, and then obviously it's from the palm, from the pinky, center, and thumb. These are the 3 points that you have that you can pivot from. And what we do with that is how we convert energy. That's how we turn our wrist to make pivoting points to control the arm, the hand, the leg, whatever it is we make contact with. So like if she's punching me, so using this position, like I can go like keep pushing me, I can use center, I can use pinky, I can use thumb. So that's how we can convert energy. If she's grabbing me, I can use from the thumb side, use from the pinky side, or the center. So that's the conversion of the points in their hand. Now you can use your palm side too. It's not just the back of the hand. I just did the back because that's what you asked about. But mainly these are the points that we use to pivot. These are the points in which we can find the way to hook into someone's point to control. It's how we learn to lock people from those points. That's how we learn to convert energy. That's how we focus energy for striking. So those are the points that we have. And you asked about the 3 in the back. Those are the 3.
All right, awesome. Let us know if you have any other questions about that specifically. Let me go back over here real quick. And let's see. Totally says, what I'm starting to learn is as I'm doing techniques, I'm starting to feel the form outside of doing the form. It's always a fascinating discovery. That's awesome, Toby. And that goes back to what we talk about a lot, these principles that you're learning with No Deck Now, you can apply them throughout your day-to-day life. So I'm glad to hear that you're starting to feel it outside of the form. That is awesome to hear. We also have Russell in, said finally made it here, Buffalo, Missouri. Well, Russell, I'm glad you finally made it here. Congratulations. Gregory says, to clarify, is turning to point turning directly into the opponent's point of contact?
It's like adjacent to the point of contact. You're turning on that point, but that point is a pivoting point. It's never a pushing point. That's what you have to understand. Conversion is not about going against the contact point. It is actually turning it. So the contact point is always a pivoting point. It's never a pushing point. So you're not trying to move the energy off. You're doing it so you can pivot it. So contact point is always a pivoting point, never a pushing point. If it's a pushing point, you're opposing the pressure. The guy's strength can make the difference. When you learn to use it as a pivoting point, it doesn't matter. It's like, think of judo. Someone's like 500 pounds. You get the right control point for leverage. You get the pivoting point from the hip. If you're doing hip toss, you can throw anyone. It's about learning how to use lever and pivoting point to create the conversion. It's no different with your hands, arms, your elbows. It makes no difference at all. But again, it's never a pushing point. It's always a pivoting point. If you push, you're opposing. If you pivot, you're converting. So conversion occurs through pivoting, not through pushing.
All right, good tips there. All right, let's see here. He says, yeah, that's what I wanted to know, Sifu. That was coming from Jimmy.
Glad I interpreted it right.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, family. Well, let us know other questions and comments that you have. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to share with you guys besides the Friendiversary sale. I think that's the only news I have right now. Though we do have Enter Shaolin's. Oh my goodness. Let me think about this. Hold on. So 12th year coming up, I think, right? Is that right? I think so. Is the 12th year? I think so, because I would have been here for 13.
I'll just say yes.
Yes, I think so. It's been a moment. I'm like, wait a second. Let me think about this. Let me put this in here. I'm like, was last year our 11th year? Hold on. We've been doing this for so long. I'm starting to forget. That's horrible. Okay, so 2014 is when we started. 11th year. Okay, so I was trying to skip a year. It's my 12th year here, and I was trying to add an extra year. Like, I don't need to make the time go faster. It's doing enough of that on its own. Okay, so I don't need to help it. So yeah, our 11th year is on the 1st, which is amazing. Yes, time definitely flies. So very cool. And Feather's coming in from London. Absolutely. Very, very cool that, yeah, time is flying. Like, I can't even believe it's like already like past the middle of April. Like, how does that even happen, guys? I don't even know. But yes, time is flying. So right around the corner on May 1st will be our 11th year of Enter Shaolin. So we'll do something cool for that time period as well to celebrate with y'all. And then Shalom says, Sifu, do you use striking in China, and can you show a technique, please?
There is striking in China, but it's not mainly striking like you do in like boxing, let's say, or karate. Striking in China is about hitting pressure points, cavity points, nerve points. So they're not using striking like to hit someone across the jaw. They're using it for creating pain on them. And China technique, I like to tell my students, China is a system, a style on its own, but it's really most effective when it is incorporated with a striking style. So China itself can be good, but really China is not as effective unless you create striking behind it. And the reason why is because unless you are able to close in someone and lock them out immediately, people like to move around, dance around. It's hard to grab them unless you're trying to take them to the ground, in which case then you're now grappling rather than locking, and you're going from grappling to locking rather than striking to locking. Where, like I said, China is best incorporated with striking techniques, because then that stuns the person, it slows them down, giving you the ability to lock someone. Locking is really effective when you're in grappling state or someone's holding you. It's hard to lock someone who throws hands like this without stunning them, without striking them, to either slow them down, stun them, without breaking their balance, type of stuff like that. So some of the striking techniques in Chin-Na is, like I said, for striking points. And so if people are, and this is a Chin-Na technique, that's really good. If she's choking me, let's say.
All right, give me a second to pull this back up so we can see ourselves again. All right.
She puts me in a choke. This is a striking point right here where I can get her throat, end her right there. So that's a striking point. So, certain other strike points, if she's grabbing my arm, we learn to hit this as a point. Why? Because now she lets go. Okay? So there are striking points where we hit, where she's grabbing my arm.
Okay.
I go like this, hold on if you can. Now, if this doesn't work for everybody, again, it's different for every people. Some people can tolerate, some people cannot. But she can turn, I can go like that. It weakens her grip. So these are the things that you can do to weaken the opponent, like I said. Striking, like I said, is really good when you can incorporate it with a striking. Locking me is very good when you incorporate it with a striking system. And the reason why is because we can learn to shoot in. If she's throwing a punch, I might be able to go and damage her arm. Then I can lock her wrist out, stuff like that. But if you're going to try to lock someone's wrist out full resistance, it can be difficult because while you're trying to lock them, they can strike you out, which is why you want to create striking where you can stun them, break their balance, put them in pain where they don't want to be aggressive anymore, and then you can easily lock them.
So it's a tool in our toolbox, but it wouldn't be like how you would start out.
Well, like I said, locking in itself is really effective when you're in a grappling state. It's hard to lock someone whose hands goes really, really fast, which is why in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu they try to do the takedown. They try to get rid of the striking element as much as they can. No one's ever locked someone out from trying to just throw these punches and never trying to stun them out. So it's most effective when it's designed with a striking system in itself as well. Chin-Na is great in itself, like I said. It's great to study the art of locking, but it's best when it's incorporated with a striking style because it gives you the best chance of locking someone who's not in a grappling state.
Right on.
Hope that.
Good tips there. Good tips. All right. So Caesar said, in Ward Off and Tai Chi have the same guard application like Wu and Wing Chun?
Ward off is just a point in which you're moving energy, you turn energy off. It's different because Wu is your default hand. If you're not using it, you bring it back here. Ward off is not where you want to keep your hand when you're not using it. So the Wu hand in Wing Chun is if she's punching me and I didn't use this hand, I would have this here set, ready to go. Tai Chi is not about putting the hands in the center and holding there. So a ward off is an action, it's not position. Whereas a Wu hand is a position. It's not an action.
No Wu, no you.
Right. So whereas punch, this is ward off. This is an action. Whereas punch, this is just a Wu. You understand? Then the Wu turns into anything. Which is why in Wing Chun you do as a default. It's position so I could turn it to something. To a Bill Sao, a Pak Sao, a Jet Sao. It's my position of default. Tai Chi or ward off is not a position. It's an action you do. So that's the difference.
Good question, though, Caesar. All right. Feather says,
hit me with something else so I can stop me.
Feather said, perfect when someone grabs you talking about Chin-Na. Absolutely. Yes. Good stuff. All right, family, what other questions do you have? While we're waiting, I am going to share a page with you real quick. And let me make sure it's up. Okay, awesome. I'm going to do a screen share with you all if I can get back to our Zoom. Operating on this smaller screen is useful and a pain in the butt sometimes. All right, because sometimes things are hiding. All right, there we go. So I found us again. So let me share this with you all. Okay. Okay. So if you're not a member to Enter Shaolin yet, or if you are a member and you're not an Abbott member yet, this is a great time to take advantage of this awesome sale. Just go to entershaolin.com/best. It's our 16th anniversary celebration, me and Sifu Larry. There we are. We're so cute. And then I put down here, which is so true, life is too short. So choose to enjoy the ride and surround yourself with awesome friends who become your family and learn some of the best Kung Fu around, aka here at Enter Shaolin. And you guys got 3 days as of right now, as this is live, and 14 hours, 52 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. And this is for the Abbott Lifetime membership. You can see all the stuff that you guys and gals can access here. There's a one-time payment option that saves you $2,000, bam, right off the bat. Or there's a 3 monthly payment option that you guys can do if you'd prefer that. And there's some awesome testimonials from some of our Abbott members. So if you haven't already, go check that out. EnterShaolin.com/best. You got 3 days and 14 hours and 52 minutes and 21 seconds. Unless you're watching this later, then it's whatever the countdown says, okay? Fair? All right. All right, there we go. All right, let's go back here. All right, well, we don't have any questions yet, but we still have some time. So could we do a mini lesson, Sifu?
Sure, any requests?
Do we have any requests for a mini lesson? No grappling, guys. That's for members only. Go check out the sale if you want to jump on the members only webinar, which is going to be happening right after this. If you join, send me an email and I'll make sure to send you the link because we already sent them out to the members. So if you don't let me know that you joined, you're going to miss out this week and I don't want you to miss out. So if you join that sale, go check it out. Oh, Gregory has a question.
No, the request.
Okay, turning to the point is using the point as a fulcrum, question mark?
Oh, that's okay. I thought he was going to
Gregory.
ask us for a demonstration. I thought he was doing this stuff. Okay. Turning the point is using the point as a fulcrum. Yes, it's a pivoting point. So you're using it. The fulcrum would be the arm. The contact point would be the pivoting point for the fulcrum right there. So wherever you make contact, that point there to the point of which you're connecting to the opponent or your opponent's connecting to you, that would be the fulcrum point right there. So that's why the rule of the wrist is always turn to the point of contact. If she's got me here, then the contact point is here, or it could be here, depending on where the energy goes. So for example, she's pushing my arm in, then it's easier to do this. If she's pushing me on this way, then it's easier to do this. She does neutral, I can pick. So it's just up to me on neutral. But yeah, anywhere there's contact point, which is here to here, I can use that as a pivoting point. Okay, so that's if it's here, she does this.
Fulcrum.
Like here's a good one, which is like one of the training tools I teach my students.
Right here? Okay.
Yeah, hold me so I can't bring it in.
Sure.
I'm just gonna lean. So she can hold me, right? Can you hold me? And this is just lean. But we use this instead of trying to pull and get around her. Hold me if you can. Ready?
Okay.
Hold me. Hold.
No.
Hold me if you can. So we teach people how to use contact point, and we learn how to use them as a pivoting point to take pressure off of us and put pressure while putting pressure on your opponent. It's not enough to take pressure off of you, okay? That's defensive. We don't defend, we counterattack. So we have to turn the pressure off while keeping the pressure on the opponent. So this would be wrong.
Okay.
That would be wrong. That would be me turning the pressure off, but never able to come back in. Learning how to create conversion, pivoting point is always the ability to convert them off while we still have pressure on the opponent. So that's the thing that you want to learn to do.
There you go. There's some fulcrum action right there. Mark had a request for some jong stuff, so some beginner jong stuff would be great. And then LT Newbie says, yo, 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 from Kansas. Yo, 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 back at you. All right, so can we do some beginner jong stuff? We got about, we'll give them 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Let them ask some questions maybe.
Sure, I can do a simple jong. I don't know if we can get the camera close by.
Let me see if I can zoom in. I'm not sure. Let's find out. But yeah, let's say let's move the ball. Move the ball out of the way. Let me see. I might have to do a little adjustments. Okay, I can see you there. Give me a second to see if I can zoom in though. I don't know if that has the ability to do that. I got fade. Oh, here we go. I'm zooming in. And that's good. So now I just need to bump this up a little bit higher.
So since we were talking about conversion, I'm going to do a lesson on conversion on the jong that'll help you, especially on the bridging point, which is what we just kind of did. So we will use the jong as a tool for doing that. So how CG Jamie had me on the arm and I learned to convert, we're going to do that on the jong. So that way we're keeping on the topic. Okay, so remember, contact point is your pivoting point. It's like your focal point. You have two sides. Remember, there's always two sides of control. You can have more than two sides, but you can never have less than two sides of control. So in this case here, we're going to use our wrist and our base. So your elbow and your wrist must always have pressure and action to create structural integrity and control. Without structural integrity, there can be no control. So if you're collapsing while moving, you cannot convert. You must have structural integrity. To define structural integrity, for those who don't know, structural integrity is the manner in which you hold yourself without straining. You can feel stress, but you cannot strain. So when you're starting to strain, that means your structural integrity is off. So it's like if I hold my arm like this and someone's pushed my arm in, I should be able to hold that right. If I'm fighting to do that, that's too much now. I can feel pressure. So if I'm holding 50 pounds of pressure and they're squeezing me at 40, obviously I can hold that. It's not enough to break me. But when they're going, like, say, I'm holding 50 and they're doing 70, I'm fighting to get to 70, that's when it's wrong. That's when structural integrity is compromised. So what do you do when pressure is greater than your structural integrity? You convert the difference. So if I'm holding 50, they're doing 70, I take the difference of 20 and I will move it. Depending on where I want to move it, whether from the hand, the elbow, it just depends on me. So we're going to start working on the Wu Sao hand. I'm going to do it this way so you can see the camera. So you're going to learn wherever the contact point is. I'm going to use the middle of the arm. You can do it from here, you can do it from here, you can do it anywhere along the arm. We're just going to pick the middle of the arm because we got to pick something, right? So you can do it from here if you want to. You can do it all from here. But let's just do the middle of the arm for now. So you're going to take this and you're going to hold your arm. Let's call this angle like 115 degrees. I know it's not, but let's just say it's 115 degrees. When you convert energy, you cannot bend your arm this way or this way when you start to turn. Once you start converting the energy from the wrist, they must stay locked, the elbow. So you're going to start from here. You're going to cut an angle, and you're going to rotate your wrist over and let your body move over it while holding the same angle. You're going to rotate the other way, and then you're going to bring your elbow towards them. I know my back is on you, but you can't see. I'll try to move out of the way. Towards this. But again, I will keep the same angle in my elbow. This is 115 degrees the whole time I'm going to turn. Now, obviously, I'm going off the side. I would be doing it this way, but I'm going to do this way so you guys can see the camera. So I do have to move my body a lot bigger so I can get to the inside. But that's okay. But so you can go from here, and again, whatever angle you want. You're going to practice 1. You're going to practice turning your body for 2. And you're going to practice coming back for 1. And you're going to practice coming back for 2. And the whole time, I'm learning how to turn at that point, never let it slide, never letting my hand drop, and never pulling the arm energy away. Again, you cannot change that angle in the elbow. If you can keep the angle in your elbow right, then you'll have the proper natural structural integrity. You are doing 3-proof. Keep the wrist on point in terms of I don't drop the energy off the jong. When I turn my arm over, I'm sending the energy from the bone into the pinky side so I can keep the pressure on the jong. I don't drop the thumb because I'm taking pressure off the jong. So you want to be here and you want to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, and on the 2, you are turning your wrist to lay on top. You don't have to get them completely over. You just have to have a hooking point over the arm. And the reason why is because that way, any energy comes in the arm, you are able to send the energy to the top. That's your conversion ability. I can take any pressure on my arm here and turn it to the hand. So the more pressure I feel on my arm, the more I can lay into my hand and put that pressure back in the opponent. And same thing on the other side. If I feel pressure pushing my arm in, so I'm going to step in to represent a pressure on my hand. Since I have no one push here, I'm going to push myself into that. That's going to give me the same pressure. It just, rather than feel their energy, I'm actually going to use my own. So you're going to step in forward and you're going to turn the body here. Now, I know it's hard to see. I'm going to try to move so you can see. But I want my body pressure for the base of the elbow is pushing into this jong while holding the hand higher than the arm. I cannot let the hand drop. If I do this, they're going to overtake me and take my arm down. I have to have higher than the arm. I can't get lower than the arm with my hand. So you want to be 1, 2, 1, 2. And the application of that is I can have CJ Jamie whenever she's ready.
Let me get us
Earthquake! Earthquake! So, and why we have to have the structure is because I told you before, without structural integrity, there can be no control, okay? So if she's punching me and I make a connection here, right? She pushes in. If I break structural integrity, I collapse. I won't be able to convert nothing. So this is why we have to, she punches. If I'm like this, now watch, push into me. This is how I convert. You see, that's the first part. Where my hand's connected like this, I just turn my wrist over top. She's pushing me. I send the energy up the hand. I lay the hand. I can punch. She's punching me here again. If she's forcing on more, I feel more heavy this side, like trying to grab my shoulder, whatever. Any pressure I feel, I pop it. See, now I can turn it in, bring the strike. So this is what we're learning to do to be able to convert pressure on a bridge. And they're very good because it's very, very fast. She's punching me. I can go like this and go, here, I'm done. I can go that fast. It's not something that you're waiting to let them do something. I'm doing something to them. I will base it on what I feel, but I will, for example, I know that if I have to equal 10, I could pick the first number, right? Or she could pick the first number. She, whatever, pick less than 1 to 10.
Less than one
Yeah, any
and
number
10?
less than 10.
Okay, I was like less than 1 and 10. See if it was
So,
5.
So I can pick 5. So if she goes 7, I can pick 3.
Okay.
So whatever she picks, I can use accordingly. And let's just say, to be more advanced, I can pick any 2 numbers while she picks a number equal 10. Or let's say 100. So if she picks like 30, I could pick anything that totals 70, right? So I can pick any number. So that's how it works. I pick a pressure, she punches. I pick a pressure which I meet. If she can't, let's say I'm picking on 80 and she hits me at 40, she's not gonna break that pressure. I can just plow through. And if I'm doing 80 and she has a pressure of like 200, that's why I convert the 120. So again, you can see my wrist turn, and again, you didn't see my elbow break. Punch me and push in. Like you can see that. See how my elbow change when I turn? It won't work because, like I said, your wrist can't control energy if there's no structural integrity. So if I don't have a base and drive, I don't have a torque. So if I collapse this, I can't drive this. So then therefore I cannot torque this. In order to have a torque, you have to have a drive. In order to have the drive, you have to have a base. In order to have the base, you have to have a root. This is the science. So I want to make sure that my structural integrity is intact. So when I turn, I can convert energy. But I can't convert energy while I'm pulling energy back and forth. I have to have structure in order to create control. So make sure that when you're turning, your elbow, when I turn my wrist, locks in. So if you notice, when I'm converting energy like this, I don't have to move my elbow in terms of angle-wise. I actually keep it the way it is. So that's how I want to keep it when I'm practicing on the Jiang. I keep my arm here, and I will turn while keeping the energy structure in my arm and keeping the angle the same while keeping the hand the same in terms of I'm never letting the energy drop. I'm always having the energy go up, and back to the opponent. There's a reason why, like I said, if you're lower than the opponent, then they can put pressure and you're dropping, they'll just drop you. You gotta take any energy that's on your arm and bring it to the hand so you can bring it back to your opponent. If I'm bringing it down, I get lower, then it's actually gonna draw away from the opponent, and you can't do that. That's where you lose.
Right on, right on. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, it's a little better. A little better. All right, let's see here. Let me catch up. Hey, Rick. Good to see you on. LT newbie, keep the frame. Converts. Niao says, I had to make a Mu Ren Zhang out of a totem pole and made the pole sticks for arms. Okay, cool. Don says, hi everyone from Toronto, and apparently LT Newbie was born in Toronto. Very cool. Matthew says, can you create friction off yourself when punching, keeping hand together and releasing the person?
So there's always friction unless they pull away. If they're putting pressure, there's always friction. That's fine. You attack like a spiral, right? A spiral can go through anything, like a drill. You can go through steel. You take a hammer and you take a nail and you try to do it. It's very difficult to drive through steel. Either the nail breaks or you can come off of it unless you have a very powerful steel. And if you do manage to push through that, more than likely you're just going to create a crack rather than a hole. Okay? Friction is okay to have on you, but it's not okay to have against you. On you is fine, against you is not fine. When you're on you, that's just pressure, like on the contact point, but never going through the contact point. Against means that you're opposing the force. So it's okay, because what does a drill do? Any pressure that's on me, I'm turning off the center. That's why we spiral. Any pressure, like she's got pressure on me like this, she's pushing me. And I've used this one before. I push like this, she can feel friction, because that's pushing against it. But if I push into me, if I create a spiral, I allow her to put pressure, but I allow her to put pressure outside of me, not against me. And that's the whole point of why we spiral. The torque takes pressure off, while the drive allows me to keep pressure on. So if you're feeling, when you're punching and you feel like you're feeling their force push you against force and you just have to be strong, then you're not doing it right. Because they should be punching towards you, never at you. They should be punching next to you, around you, close to you, by you, but never against you. Okay? They may punch into you, but never against you. So, and it's your job to make sure that that happens. It's not their job. It's your job. That torque with the drive allows them to punch anywhere but against you. So it's okay to have friction. It's on you. It's not okay to have friction against you. So hopefully that clarifies that so you can understand.
Right on. All right. I am putting the sale link because I know we're getting ready to wrap up here. Just want to make sure you guys get this. Again, where you can save up to $2,000. It is no coupon required. It's for a lifetime membership, the Abbott sale. Go check that out. You get 3 days and some, I don't know how many hours because I'm not looking at the timer right now, but you have several days to make it happen. If you make it happen today before we end this webinar or shortly after, it's 2/22 right now, you can send me an email at support@shaolin.com. Let me know that you joined. I'll double check and I will send you the link for the members only webinar, which we will be doing here shortly. All right, let me go back here real quick. Mark says, thanks for the jog stuff, Sifu. When you talked about keeping the same angle, is that part of the parallel technique?
Yes. That's how you can visually see your 3-proof.
He says, amazing that you can teach so smoothly through an earthquake.
Yes. Yeah. I have to adjust to pressure.
No earthquake here. Though we've had a couple small ones, but not much in South Jersey, thank God. Please, Lord, let it continue to be so. Okay. All right. So
he was joking because remember the camera.
No, I know. I was just, being goofy too. I knew what he was talking about. Ralph says, evening family from Dallas. Evening, Ralph. Let's see. Ralph says, Sifu, can you explain the meaning of NDN again?
NDN is a system of principle of energy, not a style. So it's not telling you how routine or sequences of move to move. It's teaching how to move in the sequence. It optimizes the way one moves, where you can get the most power with the least amount of effort. It's about being able to control energy instead of overcoming energy. It's about manipulation and conversion rather than opposing and resistance. We resist through passive resistance. We don't use active resistance. So there is resistance, but we don't do it actively. We do it passively. Those are what NDN principles is all about. It's about understanding energy, learning how to work it into nature and through the human body. There's a lot of things about the human body that we need to understand in order to effectively manipulate. So there's a lot of things that the body can and cannot do. We learn how to understand that. We learn to use that to make conversion much easier for us and harder for them to counter. NDN is a system that can adapt to any other style, any other art. So you can take NDN to karate, NDN to Muay Thai, NDN into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It doesn't matter. It's about
any form of movement.
It's about optimizing the way you move. So it's not adhered to any style. It's adhered to the science of energy, principles of control, principles in physics, stuff like that, and biology.
So we say, don't let style define you, let energy refine you. All right. Yes, Don, redirect the energy without using force. That's what it's about.
No, we use force. We just don't use opposing force.
Yeah.
So you have to use force. The force must exist because without structural integrity, without intent, I cannot have the influence to control. So I do have to have force, but it's never against her. Okay, it's into her. Again, I don't let energy go against me, but I don't go against them either. I go into them, but never against them.
So to no forcing, but you use the force. Understand? Okay. All right. Hey, Thikan. Sorry that you came in so late. Nia Tupi Woo Wee. I'm not sure what the heck that means. Do you know what that means, Sifu?
No, it's a question. I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry. Not sure what you're trying to say.
That's not my name. That's what you're asking.
Ralph says Sifu's gray matches mine. Both wise men. Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Well, family, we're going to wrap it up since we're a couple minutes before it's time for us to meet our members in the member-only Q&A, where we're going to do some critiques and we're going to talk about anything our members want us to talk about. No holds barred.
Including grappling.
Including grappling, that's right. And all right, family, so it's a philosophy. I think he's talking about the woo-wee. Not familiar with it, so I'd have to look that up. And we ran out of time, so I will put a little note in there. And Aloha and mahalo to you too, Mark. All right, family. Again, we have that sale going on for the next several days. Our Friendiversary sale going on. Go check it out. Save yourself $2,000. Get access to our lifetime membership to our online training hall. You won't regret it. I've never had anyone ask for a refund from it, so go check it out. EnterShaolin.com/best. Go get your best so you can be your best. All right, fam? And if you're new here and you're like, what the heck is Nodak Na? What is energy physics principles? What on earth? And you're just like, I'm not sure I'm ready for a full membership yet. That's okay. Go check out our free gift at EnterShaolin.com/gifts. Make sure that you get that little email that's going to ask you if you want to subscribe. Click on that. You'll get a welcome email that'll show you how to log into the website and get our free ebook on the Nodak Na fundamentals, as well as our free 5-day course and some other cool bonuses. All right, family, we'll see you next week. And members, we'll see you in a bit. All right, God bless everyone.